Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we'll be discussing about my new gaming PC. So this is a pre-built machine I bought from Lenovo. This is called the Lenovo Legion Tower 5. So in this market of where value for money is always in the custom built PCs, so does this Lenovo make sense? Let's look at it. So coming to why did I buy a pre-built PC? I would have easily gone for a better customized gaming PC. Yes, it is correct that I would get a better value for money if I'm buying a customized PC assembling all different parts. But just think of this way, like in a country like India, imagine running after warranty from all these different manufacturers. So these are the amount of vendors that you'll have to go to just to get a PC assembled. Like if there is a small problem in your motherboard, you go to ASUS, processor you go to Intel, hard disk you go to Seagate. Who has the time in this day and age? So what pre-built PCs offer you is, first thing, it saves your time. You don't need to choose the case, customize the case, choose different components, go to a local vendor, assemble those components, run after warranty for each of them. So this model particularly from Lenovo is excellent in terms of both build and what it offers inside. So there are some models from both the Dell, Asus and HP which are like outright funny. They're like, I mean, it is just to prove that companies try to make you fools. I mean, you look like fool if you're buying an HP gaming PC that has like small fan which is put in regular PCs, and it has off-the-shelf parts like custom parts, custom motherboard, custom graphic card. This one, the Lenovo Legion Tower 5, this has solid build. First thing, it has an excellent case which is made out of metal and you have a glass side. Two, it has ARGB fans, not RGB, ARGB. Yes, you can control individually all of these fans, including this front logo, what kind of customization you want. Three, it has parts which are very standard across the board. It has a full-size motherboard. It has hard disk from Western Digital Black and Seagate. It has a graphic card which is big chunky 3070 RTX. These are not custom parts, although it says Lenovo branding, but it looks like it has been manufactured by MSI. So it has a CPU cooler that is as big and chunky as a Noctua cooler. So the graphic card has two fans. It even has mounting on the top for if you want a liquid cooling system. Like Lenovo, what did Lenovo even think in this day and age to provide a pre-built PC as so good as this, when like more reputed manufacturers are like making shit like Asus. So what Asus does is it will take you 1,60,000, throw you a 2070 and a keyboard and mouse and calls it a gaming PC. Like this is proper gaming stuff. This costed me around like 140, and with offers you might get it at 130 if you're smart enough in when to purchase it on Amazon. I bought it on this one on Amazon, and trust me, nothing gets better in today's day and age. I mean, even if you go buying a custom built PC, you might spend like 5 to 7,000 rupees lesser than this one. But just remember, this one has like 3 years warranty across all the components, everything. So let us look into the internals of this PC, and good thing it has thumb screws on all the four sides, like for both the front glass panel and the rear panel. And the front panel is actually very sturdy one, if you can see. Look, it's really super thick and heavy. So chances are you will not break this one that easily. So Lenovo added this carbon fiber looking shroud. So this is just plastic. So the reason they have added this is to ensure these cabling and the fans that are there are not visible to the outside. So coming to the interiors, you have an encasing here. So this has two things. Until here there is a power supply unit which is properly secured by a solid grill on the top, and the PSU is pushed from the behind, and this area is actually to store the hard drives. So these hard drives can be accessed from the behind the CPU. You cannot pull it straight away from it. And what you have here is the GeForce RTX 3070, and you have one large, very big and chunky cooler here. So this looks like similar to the Noctua coolers, the expensive ones that are there, but I'm not sure this is made by Noctua. It says just made in China, but it doesn't say which company. The other fans that are there are RGB fans. So you have two in the front and one in the rear. So these are made by a company called AVC. So I feel this one is also made by the same company. And the interior of the motherboard is actually a standard form factor. So before we go deep dive into the motherboard, let's look at the behind of the PC also. So if you can see, this is the other side of the back side of the motherboard, and Lenovo has done an excellent cable management for all the cables that are there. So all the cables that come here have been secured with zip ties, and some of the cables, the imported ones that carry more power, especially towards the CPU and other stuff, they're actually braided. You can see this one and a couple of other cables that go here. They have been braided. I mean, it's rarely you see companies, especially the OEM manufacturers, do such kind of stuff. So even the power supply here, it is actually an 80 plus power supply, and it is rated at 750 watts, guys. And you also have an ARGB controller here. So this one is custom made by Lenovo itself, so this is not an off-the-shelf part. So you cannot install more drivers to this one, so that's the downside of it. And some of these cables are also like properly braided, because the more sensitive ones are like braided here. And you have ports for the one is for CPU, and you have one for top and one says rear, and you have the front is actually the logo that also illuminates. And you also have another controller that is for the front both of the fans. And there is another one called the RGB header. I think this one is for the interior light. So there is a light for this interior apart from the RGB fans and other stuff. So that just illuminates. And moving to the bottom of the CPU. So rarely companies put in this much level of detail into their machines, especially the pre-built gaming PCs. So what this is actually a dust filter for the power supply unit. I'm surprised Lenovo offered this one. You can sort of pull this out. So this is made of metal and with plastic encasing. This is very strong. So there is a fan for cooling the power supply unit, and for the fan, this fan actually sucks in the air and ejects it from this side. So Lenovo added a little dust filter here so that dust and other stuff, even insects, don't go into the power supply. So I was always felt like if some spider creeps into the power supply, you're gone for good. So moving over to the hard disk section. So this is where the hard disks are stored under the cabinet that I showed, the horse bows the PSU. And since the power supply has a lot of cables, so they have hid it around another shroud, so it doesn't look awkward. So it has two slots for hard disk, and these hard disk slots are like, you can pull them out and you can swap your hard disk and put it back inside. So there is an empty slot here. So now let us look at what components has Lenovo used inside for all the peripherals that are there. So moving into the components that are used inside the PC. So as I said, fans are from a brand called AVC, and looking inside, the motherboard is a standard model motherboard instead of companies like HP that use custom made parts which are like very and super difficult to upgrade. So Lenovo has used everything that is standard, that is available off the shelf. So if you look at motherboard, it says this is a Lenovo made motherboard. And moving over to the graphic card, so this looks like it is made by MSI, because MSI has some similar models in their lineup. So this has a couple of fans below. I think Lenovo should have thought this over, because the fans blow directly over to the power supply unit. So this is the shroud that stores both the power supply unit and hard disk. So you can actually see the hard disk from here. So the hard disk is for 2 TB and this is made by Seagate. And moving further, so you have the Wi-Fi card here. So the Wi-Fi card doesn't have any branding there. And moving over, you have some spare ports and you have a CMOS battery here. And you can see below the one which is written like NO Legion. You see the branding, end of the branding. So that's the actually the heatsink for the voltage regulators of the GPU. Like, I am surprised even the Alienware from Dell, which costs almost like 2.2 lakhs, doesn't even offer such kind of stuff in it. And so moving over to the CPU section, so you see there is another large black color heatsink. So this heatsink is actually for the voltage regulators for the CPU. I mean, Lenovo did such a good job in building this PC. So you can see it's a machined metal. You see this big chunky cooler, and it has a big chunky radiator behind. So this is not a liquid cooler. So Lenovo offers another model which has a liquid cooler, and you could also upgrade it, but the upgrade option is not available in India, unfortunately. And the top rack, so you can see the standoffs here that are there. So these standoffs are readily available so that you can install a liquid cooler on the top. That place is for the radiator section. So a lot of ports are ready available for you to add more and more parts for this PC. And here's the good news, this PC has dual channel RAM. So most of the PCs actually cheap out on this section. So this is the RAM stick. So this is made by SK Hynix. This is actually a DDR4 memory, and you have another 2 open slots for you if in case you want to expand the RAM. And the motherboard also looks black in color rather than the cheap looking green color motherboard. I don't care if the motherboard color could be anything, but at least Lenovo even took care of that small tiny little detail here. And also the graphic card is secured properly with a proper standoff here. So it's a plastic standoff so that the graphic card doesn't move or sag. And you have extra standoff here with 2 screws that secure the graphic card into its place. Unfortunately, on the port wise, Lenovo should have done a better job. So if you look at the ports here, you have like 4 USB 3.0 port and Ethernet, and it has 3 audio jacks, and it has only 1 USB-C. And for the graphic card, you have 1 HDMI and 3 display ports. Wish it could have gave another option of adding another HDMI because you could set up a multi-TV setup using that system. So to understand the performance better, we will run some benchmarks on some of the top games. So this is the Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. Let's run the benchmark and see how many FPS it can clock. As you can see, even at ultra settings, it is able to pull almost 59 to 60 FPS. So this is on complete 4K, and majority of the settings are in ultra. So the GPU utilization is almost at 98% now. So if you want to run games more than 60 frames like at 100 or 120, you would need an upgrade in graphic card, at least like 3080 or 3090 or even the 4080 that newly came. The GPU is at 80 degrees. Now we can see some fan speed that is coming up. So yeah, the top FPS was 124 because the TV is set at variable refresh rate of max 120 Hz. And the average FPS is 58.578. That's like extremely good. So this GPU is still not overclocked. You have that option in the BIOS settings of this system. So let us run Cinebench now and see what results it does. So if you look at the results, this gave a score of 13,514 points on a multi-core. So if you look at the ranking, it is just 3000 off to the Threadripper, which has 16 cores and 32 threads of AMD Ryzen. So that gives you an understanding of how good this PC is in terms of performance. So you must have seen how good this PC performs. So even at full load on GPU, the thermal sort of heat at up to 80 degrees centigrade. Uh, there are more other modes where you can kick the fans much more higher, but that noise is going to bother you a little bit. Apart from that, the CPU cooler does its job more than well, and you don't need to actually upgrade it to a liquid cooler. So the stock cooler is like very efficient. Only thing is, since there are open vents all where, you need to clean the PC timely using a blower or something, because it can easily get clogged because the dust is being sucked in like always. So adding to that, you also have another cabinet light, so that sort of glows the interior, and you can increase the brightness so you can see what is, if there is any dust or accumulated or something. Unless you have a very clean room, do not switch it as it shows up all the dust. It doesn't look so cool. Turn it off, it looks cool. So yeah, though, so coming to the power consumption, this thing consumes around 700 watts at its full peak power. It still has some power to spare. The GPU hits almost 250 watts, and the CPU TDP is like around like 130 or 140. So combinedly, there is still some juice left in it. But be careful if you're upgrading to a different graphic card, especially the new ones like 4080. They might need a 1000 watt power supply. So there's that. And apart from that, negatives not so much. So I'll give you a look on how the Lenovo application actually looks. So this is the Lenovo app. Not much information inside that. That's the basic stuff. Good thing is there is not much bloatware. And coming to these RGB lightings, the customization options are very limited. There are like hardly 3 profiles here. You can choose some effects like static, flicker, breathe, wave, spectrum, and CPU temperature. So flicker, in sense it flickers. I wish Lenovo has given us more options here, because that would have looked cool, because it is an ARGB system. Only thing is the software is not up to the mark. That is not accommodating more and more customizing features there. And it has some basic information. It shows the CPU usage, GPU usage, and it says what is the thermal mode, do you need for extra performance. It also has the option of enable GPU overclocking here itself, and you also have a quiet mode if you are like, if you're doing some video or something like that. So it does show a warning there. I'm not sure if this would actually kill your warranty, but yeah. So there is another options like Wi-Fi security, Dolby, and other stupid stuff. It doesn't show a lot of notifications while you're using, but at least it's there. And you have the warranty display here. Well, when is the warranty going to end and all that. So if you want to upgrade the warranty, you can do that like immediately. You can submit a ticket. These warranty application, it looks good. I don't know what kind of support is there, but at least compared to a custom built PC where you have different vendors, Lenovo is going to respond, because Lenovo is one of the largest laptops or PC vendors in India. So apart from that, I don't find much negatives that are there. Bloatware is like very limited. There is hardly any bloatware inside the system. The only thing I feel should have been improved from the Lenovo's part is they could have been more innovative in this stuff. Some PC companies like Zotac and others, they make mini gaming PCs. So this is really a bulky size for what it offers. I feel things could have been a little more compact. At least there is an option to do so, because if you look at the current market right now, so you have laptops. So this is an Asus X-Flow. So this little thing has AMD Ryzen 9 octa-core CPU, if you can see, and it also has an NVIDIA 1650, I guess, graphic card. And just look at the profile of this one. So it's very thin and sleek. It weighs only like 1.1 kgs. So some companies have been really pushing the boundaries to sort of reduce the size, make it more compact and make it more powerful. So this is a 100 watts. It's a beast of a machine. This thing actually comes closer to 90% performance of this. Of course it can't beat the mightiness of this machine, but for 100 watts, if it is coming 90% closer to that, I think Lenovo could have given us more options. Lenovo website doesn't give you more customizations, so this is an pre-built stock configuration that you can buy on Amazon. But if you want to choose like higher processor like Amazon AMD Ryzen 9 and upgrade your RAM and the graphic card and other stuff, somehow the Lenovo website doesn't give you those many options. The laptops do have options, but not coming to these gaming PCs. So there are some models in Lenovo which also have the liquid cooling option. And yeah, I mean, Lenovo, you are 90% there. Like, we need those innovations and other stuff from you, because the case and all looks cool, but it looks like something you have already seen in the market. They could have been little more creative. So apart from that, no complaints. So if you are somebody who is crunched by time and you want some PC just to get the enthusiasm, the gaming nerd out of you satisfied, you need some machine for your editing rig or something, so this will save you a lot of time. And this is right out of stock. You don't need to install Windows and all that headache. It works right out. It also has Windows pre-installed along with Microsoft Office also. So this will be a very great option. So if you have any questions or any doubts regarding this product, just leave a comment below. I will be happy to answer you. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.